Hello everyone, it's Gwathon from Gwathon's Games, and today I'm doing the Heroic+2 Champion. Now I am running a level 48 champion against level 51 creatures, so I'm in the beginning of Moria, and having got my LI, I've got running blue line, so I'll go into more detail about what I'm doing, but I'll just give you a quick view as there's not many virtue traits. But yeah, I'm running blue line, and I'll just get into it, and then after a little while I'll start describing what I'm doing. Okay, let's start. Bit of stun. Okay, so I took that down fairly straightforward. Did lose a bit of health, but it was fairly straightforward. So I'll now try doing two. Actually, I won't do two yet. I'll just do another solo. Oh, good, I've got repose up, which is good. I did a parry response. Got another parry response up. Good. That was better. No stun, that was much better. Okay, I'll just go through. Messengers are needed for the quests. Get a bit more fury back. Unstun myself. I have Sauron dropped, which is of course the way it goes in Heroic+2. I've got Feral Strikes, which helps remove the corruptions on them. Yeah, it's took a little bit more time to do this, but lots more when you've got... I'll actually take a pot just to push that health back up again. Okay, so you can see that it's taking a little bit of time, but it is getting through. I'll take two soldiers over there in the not too distant future, but let's go for it again. Okay, when Feral Strike doesn't work, I need to go for the blue line. Go back out of that poison. Get rid of the corruption if possible. Yeah, it's gone. Bracing attack, please. Okay, so I'll get that food back up again for wound resistance. Wounds are the most dangerous things pretty much for most of these characters. It does a lot of damage. Okay, so I'll just clear myself an area. Take the last one of these to draw it out, and then we'll go for the other two. And I'll actually put more in. So yeah, need to have that back. So Feral Strikes works. Now, as you can see, I'm not using terribly many other than the most basic of the attacks: Blade Wall, Feral Strikes, Wild Attack, just to take on one. But I will need more than that when taking on more than one. So I'll go to two. So I've also got Sudden Defense, which is the bubble that I'm popping up immediately. I've got Horn of Champions, which also will decrease the damage that I'm taking. Bracing Attack, which increases my morale by 25%. And I've got Adamant, Unbreakable, Dire Need, and Fight On. So I've got a lot of abilities that are going to sit there and gradually get needed. But let's have some fun. get out of the dire need. Fight on. Let's see if we go. That's one down. Bubbles back. Good. Let's see if I can get the second one. Get that horn going again. Oh, I got done by the bracing attack again. Thank you. Keep fighting. Get the bubble back in a couple of seconds, but I've got both of them down, so I'll just put the bubble on just because. And you can see that was a little bit more work, but that was 2 orange creatures. So 2 creatures 3 levels higher than the champion, and that's pretty good for Heroic +2. So I'll just clear my way through the this area. Had to use fight on to get my. Oh, there we go. There's that coming up again. Just bracing attack, even though I don't actually need it really. I've got something coming up. Well, no, it didn't actually come up behind me. Now you can see that I've got the repose popping up in the middle of the screen, which is exactly where I want it. But I'll actually get past this last messenger, even though it would be nice to take it, and I'll just pop round this side here, and there's at least one of them will come at me. No, I managed to get past both. Okay. Well, that's good. So, fought my way through that. They're all 3 levels higher than I am, but managed to get through. I'll go back in again to get the rest of them. But I just thought I would give you some idea of how this character fought. Now, when it comes to the character itself, I'm using the level 45 gear, basically all from the skirmish camp, so there's nothing particularly special about that. These are crafted level 40 gear. That's actually gives me the XP. That's from one of the ultimate packs in the expansion. It was on sale, 85% off. So sometimes some of the really cheap ultimate packs drop. They give you an account-wide item that for every character you can get a 25% experience boost up till, in this case, level 120. Another crafted gear. But as I said, what I've got for legendary items, I've got Wild Attack, Blade Wall, and some extra crit. I'll actually put that over here, and I'll put it there as well. I'll put both of them there. So Wild Attack, Blade Wall, Heroic Precision. So, and I'm using a 2-handed sword. The nice thing about running in blue line is that your 2-handed sword can block for a champion. Okay, so Heroic Precision, and I've got the 2 Heroic Precision, so I get an extra 3% critical chance. Doesn't mean a lot, but I'm only doing a 17% critical rate, which is not particularly high. And the other 2 are the Feral Strikes damage. So because I've slotted Feral Strikes in, because it does corruption removal on the targets, which is really important for the Eye of Sauron, in my quick rotation, I've got something that does corruption removal, so it's quite important. And I've also got, which is an adjustment because I'm now running blue line, the sudden defense cooldown with an increase in bubble magnitude. So it drops the sudden defense cooldown by 15 seconds. So it's dropped it from 40 seconds down to 25. Okay, that makes a lot of difference for the character to have a 25-second cooldown. That means in most fights, or many fights, if you need it, you get a second bubble. you can see it needs one fervor to activate, which is why I've got the Battle Frenzy there, just to give myself something so that I can pop the bubble when needed, just before I go into a battle. Okay, so this is the modification, because previously my character had been running when I'm not using, I'd previously been using Raging Blade and Exchange of Blows as my for a normal champion, just so that I could run Yellow Line. But because I've gone to blue, I've changed, and because we're fighting with Heroic+2, Feral Savage Strikes becomes really important, and Sudden Defense cooldown becomes really important. Now, you may or may not have seen that as part of all of this, I've had the pop-ups. So this is all from Bevy of Bars. I've got a couple of things going. I've got, I'll actually open my LI list up. I've got a lot of LIs, many of them are turned off, but you can see that I've got my AltInventory, which tells me in which inventory all of my gear is. So if I go to all characters, I can, and I want to find out where those traceries are. This is where all my it goes through all my inventories and tells me which characters have traceries. So if I've got some enhancement runes and I want to find out where they are, it'll give me a hint as to where they are. So that tells me a lot of things. But Bevy of Bars. Bevy of Bars is what prompts me for all the food that you've got: trail food, cooked food, fortifying food. It also prompts me for the different scrolls, ancient and battle and warding law in this case. You can see the difficulty Heroic+2 is there. That's from the rings. Hustle is from, because I have a 8% out of combat run speed that I've crafted for myself. And Exalted Combat is one of the traits for on Blue Line. There's Damage Reflection. This character reflects damage 20% of the time. 20% of the time it reflects 30% damage, and it's an increase over the natural one for Blue Line. There's a couple of extra things. Whenever you're one of the really important reasons to run Blue Line, if your morale gets below 30%, you get back 25% of your morale instantly with a 90-second cooldown. So it's an instant pop. If you get in danger, you get an instant recovery. Now, because I've been running Blue Line, I did put that Battle Frenzy in, just as I said, just to get that little pop so that I can push Sudden Defense and have more available for Feral Strikes. But Wild Attack will usually add a pip, and you can usually go from there. Feral Strikes kind of, it does work. Sweeping Repose, I've got with the extra 100% damage. It requires a parry response to activate, and that's what the Blue Line's all about, but it will pop up in my auto skill bar, so it'll pop up right here. So I've moved these around so that Control / brings it up. I've also got BuffBars prompting me for when I've got wounds that need to be removed, so that I can fix myself. And I actually don't have that on my list for when I did this, so I should pull that up. There, Fear Nothing is now sitting in my queue. Okay, so I can now pull it with Control 5. I didn't realise I hadn't done it, but you could also click here. Now what I've done with these are all of the healing outs, basically healing outs or defense bonuses that you get from from blue line. And whenever I've got this set up so that whenever my morale's below 80%, this one will pop up and this one pops up if it's below 60%, and it just goes on, and eventually I get to a healing pot which will pop up when I get to 30%. So I've got right in front of the screen. It's not there when I'm not doing anything, but when I do need it, it tells me that when I need to eat food, I'll do that now. And you can see they pop up over here when I've done. But you'll see, I'll go back in and I'll take the messenger and a soldier again, so I might as well try 2. You'll see that it will pop up with the buff bar, bevy of bars right in front of me and tell me I need to act. So, okay, that's moved away, that's fine, I'll pop that out. Let's go in and have some fun. Feral Strikes, Blade Wall, Repose is up, Wild Attack, Feral Strikes, Blade Wall. You can see that Sweeping Repose is up. I'll actually click it there. But you can see that this is running through the routine. I've got stunned, unstunned myself, and it prompted me with a whole lot of stuff that was available because my health was way down there. Okay, I'll try that again, and gradually as things disappear, you can see that as the morale gets up, it does disappear. So I'll try that again. This time I'm going to go with the forced attack. Oh, okay, so I've got Eye of Sauron. It's got a corruption on it, which you can see in blue. The Feral Strike should remove that. No, it didn't. It's gone now. I can see that I need some extra stuff, including bracing attack. I can pop the bubble. And you can see I've got back in control of the battle. Okay, so you can see that there's an awful lot that the champion brings. Now on normal landscape level, normally on landscape, I'll actually hand that in because I've done one of those. You can see that while most of this, and I've also got the buff bars is also not just over here, but it's also here telling me when things are going to run out. But you can see that this gives me the plugins give me so much more control for the champion. In and of itself, if you're just running it without any of the prompts, without any of the plugin prompts, you'd probably roll bracing attack in occasionally. You'd use the Horn of Champions. It's got a 30-second cooldown, so it's bracing attack. You'd probably run your sudden defense whenever you could noticed it was popping up. But this gives you so much more control, and it makes for a much more involved champion to run. So yeah, I've got the Masochism and I've got the Exalted Combat active. You can see it's difficulty Heroic plus 2. I've got the Fervor, which gives me the increased damage. Now, when it comes to the actual character itself from this point on, I've pretty much, there's a whole lot of parry and critical defense and increased damage that I really put in here and put those points in, but then I just start filling out the yellow line. I would like to get that Ardent Rage, which gives me more fervor, which will increase the damage, but it also means that I don't have to keep popping the small one. Raging Blade would be nice to have with its extra improved damage, and getting Blade Wall doing more damage would be nice. And you also see that of the runes that I've got, the traceries I've got, I don't have the one that boosts bracing attack. That would be one of the next ones that I'd actually pop in for the masteries. But there we go. That is the champion. It is on normal landscape level. You would just run in there and you would AoE everything down. You would not have to worry about your armor. You would not have to worry about anything else. This is a far more involved character, but you can run it on creatures that are 3 levels higher than you. So it is one of the few character classes that still is able to play reasonably well under level. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye all.